Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to knit a corner-to-corner baby blanket using DK yarn, which is baby safe, very soft yarn. And the corner-to-corner blanket will grow through a series of increases and decreases, and there are colour block changes, stripes to add interest. I'll be using 4mm US 6 knitting needles, circular needles. Now for the blanket I would say to use a 40-inch 100cm cable, but for this sample I'm using a shorter cable. So to begin, you need to make a slip knot and cast on 5 stitches. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, row 1, you knit. Row 2, for row 2 you knit 3, yarn over, knit 2. Row 3, you knit 3, yarn over, and knit 3, and you should have 7 stitches. Row 4, you knit 3, yarn over, and knit to the end of the row. After that, you repeat row 4 until you have around 118 rows, or you've run out of that colour of that yarn that you're using. So we're just doing the row 4 again. So knit 3, yarn over, and then knit to the end of the row. And repeat. And you can see that the holes there are beginning to form from the yarn overs, and this starts the sort of border section of the blanket. You can see that corner starting to form. Another row 4, knit 3, yarn over, and knit to the end of the row. And you can see that it grows pretty quickly. and is fairly easy. This is a knitted section for that one colour, the first colour that we're starting with, and you can see how it's supposed to look as it grows. And we'll do a colour change next. So to change the colour, we're using this lilac colour, and we're just going to hook the new colour over the needle. So we're just making a little loop like this, and then you'll hook that over the needle and then start knitting with that colour. So again, you will just repeat row 4, so you'll knit 3, just pull those ends a little tight so that it locks in, yarn over, and then knit to the end of the row. You can weave those ends in as you work, or you can leave it and do it at the end of the project. It's up to you. And you can see that this is the right side of the work. The wrong side has the coloured join showing in that row there on the back. On the right side you don't see that. Next we will change the colour again, and we're using white this time. So we're going to join this colour in the same way that we joined the lilac. Now with the lilac you can knit till you get to the end of the ball, or until you have around 54 rows. So to join the white, we're just hooking the new yarn over the needle and starting to knit with that. And we'll knit 3, yarn over, and then knit to the end of the row. And you can pull those ends tight so that they don't come apart where you join the new colour, and you can weave those ends in or leave them until later. It's up to you, but just make sure that they're a little bit tight. And you can see the new colour joining on the back, and the front of the work doesn't show that join. So when you've knit around 44 rows of white, or you've come to the end of that ball, we're going to use another ball of white to start the decreases. So the white section, whatever colour you use for the sort of centre section, you will need 2 balls of that. So we're starting with the white, and we're going to knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, and then knit to the end of the row. And you will repeat that row until you run out of that colour again. And that will decrease it, and it's forming a corner, as you can see there. So you can see the corner here once some rows have been worked, and how the decreases are going. So now we're going to add in another colour, this peachy colour. Again, just make a loop and then hook that around the needle and start knitting. So again, we'll knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, and then knit until you get to the end of the row. And you can see that that is the right side of the work, and on the back side you will see the color change on that row. So continue that in that color until you run out of that color, and you're ready to add in the final color, which I've chosen as yellow, this lovely bright yellow. So again, get the new color, make a loop, hook it around the needle, and then start knitting. So we'll knit 2, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, and then knit to the end of the row. And again, the color changes happen on the right side of the work, so you don't see that color change line on the row. Pull the ends tight so that that first stitch isn't very loose, and you can see the wrong side of the work shows the color change row. When you have 7 stitches left, you can either cast off straight away, or if you would like to decrease it further to have a finer point, you can knit 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 1, so you'll have 4 stitches left, and then cast off. Either way is fine. As you can see now, I'm casting off those remaining stitches, and this will form the other corner point. And you'll see that you have a loop of yarn left. Cut a tail length of yarn, get a tapestry needle, push that yarn through the loop just to secure a knot, and then use the tapestry needle to weave in any loose ends. And make sure that you weave them in on the wrong side of the work. And then cut the yarn, and that should be hidden within the border of the work. And you can repeat that for any of the ends that you see where you've joined the yarn in. Some people like to tie them together, some people don't. It's up to you, however you want to do it. Just to make sure that they stay together and don't start unraveling. And then weave the ends in through their own colours so that you don't see a bit of yellow on the peach side. And you can see on the right side of the work that it's quite neat, and you don't see any sort of tail ends hanging about there. So continue to do that with all of the loose ends that you can see. And the finished blanket measures around 30 by 30 inches. You can find the full written pattern for free on my website, or to buy in my shop if you want the printable PDF pattern. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and that it has inspired you to make your own baby blanket. If you have any comments, please drop them below, and thanks for watching.